go. There's a lot of dumbass criminals to talk about, baby. It's the whacked out news. People breaking the law. Ha ha, fighting in the nude. Ha, drunk people pooping in the street. Ha ha, it's the whacked out news. So many people on meth. Ow!
Well, we're now hearing a little bit more with some of the claims about the Epic Universe roller coaster Stardust Racers and the passing of 23-year-old Kevin Rodriguez Zavala. Now, some of the details that their attorney, Ben Crump, is coming out with for the family. He's, of course, sticking with he died from blunt force injuries, but he is saying that Zavala hit his head at the first dip, suffering lacerations, and he was bleeding before the ride ended. Now, that to me sounds like different than maybe he was just jostled around in his seat and he was not physically fit enough to ride the ride, which that seems to be what the argument's going to be.
Bleeding?
Well, hitting his head at the first dip, that sounds like that's something wrong with the ride if you're able to do that. Would you not think?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. Where were the lacerations? On the back of his head where the seat was, or on the front of his head where something would have had to have hit him?
Sounds like it would be the front, if that's what they're talking about, saying he hit his head would be my guess.
But you could hit your back of your head.
Yeah.
On your own seat because you weren't able to hold yourself.
And I guess that'd be the argument, saying because of his spinal cord injuries, he wasn't able to hold his head rigid enough to avoid any kind of blunt force trauma.
This is going to be interesting if it does go to court because, of course, we'll hear all the details and, you know, medical examiners and experts are going to have to testify to say, you know, what happened and who's at fault.
He's saying Universal has not contacted them at all. They can't get a hold of them. And I'm sure they're like saying, hey, we're going to let our attorneys do all the talking. We don't want to say anything.
The attorneys are probably scrambling to get all the facts.
But he's saying Universal knew of repeated injuries, but are still trying to blame the victims. And he said they're not going to be able to silence everybody. So he thinks there's going to be a wave of people coming after Universal because of this Stardust Racer roller coaster at Epic Universe.
Well, if there is, then this attorney who is representing this family needs to establish himself as the point person for a class action lawsuit and let everybody funnel through him and get all the victims together to tell what happened. Because if it truly was negligence, it's so much better to all be on the same side, saying the same story.
Boy, I got to tell you, Sheriff Grady Judd of Polk County, he had quite a day yesterday. He's done another press conference.
He is a cowboy.
Yeah, he was doing one. One had to do with a retired cop. And he was arrested after insulting workers at a McDonald's drive-thru, and then he took off and ran from law enforcement. So here is Sheriff Grady Judd of Polk County talking about the McDrunk, as he called him.
We expect more of people who used to work for us. I'm embarrassed for his family, but make no mistake, you act like a McNut at McDonald's, and you're McDrunk, saying McUgly things to the girls, and putting a child's life in danger, you're going to jail. McJail every McTime. Have a good day.
Okay.
There was more. Believe me, there was more.
That was a quick one he had. He also had one where what he likes is he likes male prostitutes who dress up as women, and then he shows their photo of them in drag, and then he'll be like, if they're not ugly enough. And so he kind of went off, and there was a cop behind him that was kind of cracking up. And so this was kind of going viral yesterday. This was Sheriff Grady Judd at the lectern where he's most comfortable with a bunch of other cops standing behind him as he's talking about pulling a coyote ugly.
There's things in life you just can't believe. So you order up a prostitute, right? This prostitute lives with his mother, by the way. He's got a massive criminal history, a 21-year criminal history with 31 criminal charges. So you order up a prostitute, and that's what you think you're getting.
It's not attractive.
When you look at that, you go, wow, that's pretty rough, but, you know, any port in a storm.
But you know.
Any port in a storm.
But you know, any port in a storm.
Now that is a great quote.
But you know, any port in a storm.
And then the next morning when you wake up, you find out this is who it really is.
And that's the guy photo.
Yeah. We call that coyote ugly. You see, he's laying on your arm in bed. You go, well, it was rough last night, but I've sobered up. I think I'll just chew my arm off and ease away so I don't disturb him or wake him up. All right, so you think you're buying this, you're getting this. He's got 31 criminal charges, and heck, if you're lucky, he doesn't kill you overnight.
Okay, there you go. All right. All these Florida cops. I think they're trying to compete for who's the most entertaining.
I have seen other sheriffs and other,
Yes.
when they go to the press conference now, they kind of ham it up a bit. They add a little bit more flair.
There's two other county sheriffs in Florida that are trying to take a shot at the throne. I think Polk County Grady Judd, I think he's on top right now, but these other two sheriffs are gunning for him.
There's one that's a little bit younger, but you could tell he wants to take the reins of a Grady Judd.
I just would caution any sheriff, don't get caught up in likes and views. Get more caught up in fighting crime.
Well, do you think,
like,
Sheriff
what
Grady,
are we doing?
do you think he sits like at his desk and kind of crafts almost like a routine when he knows he has a press conference?
Yeah.
He has to.
He wants to put on a comedy show.
He does. That's
He's
kinda his
going for
thing.
comedy points, but is that really what you want?
Well, I tell you, over the Christmas break last year, I must have binge watched about 3 hours of his interviews. I couldn't believe it.
He's got a lot of stuff.
He has so much content.
He does have a lot of content.
Well, the stadium announcer at FAMU thought he was going to do a little bit of a comedy routine as well. And they had the Alabama State Marching Band out there and their dance team. And he had a line that I think he thought was going to be well received. It was not.
Congratulate them. They're now the new face of Ozempic.
He called their dance team the new face of Ozempic.
Oh, no.
And let's see, maybe it'll hit. Maybe it'll hit. Maybe people are like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's great. I mean, everybody turned on him so fast. Oh, no, you did not. Oh, they were so mad.
That sucks when you think you've got a heater joke. Like, this is going to be amazing.
The new face of Ozempic, this is going to crush.
That's why sometimes doing our live shows, you're like, ugh. It's good that we can't see the audience when we're in this room.
We're one thing away from getting canceled. You say one thing you think is going to be funny.
Not even that. Sometimes you just bomb and you look, you can hear crickets on a stage. I'd rather be canceled.
Yeah, did not take off. Well, there's a 31-year-old Australian man who remains hospitalized under police guard after allegedly causing 7 separate crashes on Monday.
Oh, my gosh. What was this guy doing?
Emergency calls began before 10:30 a.m. reporting erratic driving by a white Hyundai Santa Fe. Police say the driver forced other vehicles off the road and fled multiple crash scenes, including a collision with a Honda SUV and later a BMW SUV.
Oh, my gosh.
The suspect abandoned his vehicle, fled on foot before being chased and detained by an off-duty officer. During the arrest, police alleged that he bit the off-duty cop on the chest.
Oh, my gosh.
How about this guy was squirrely, huh? Dang. He was putting on a show. Pretty crazy. Now, I got another person here that's in a bit of trouble. Dominic Reed reported his $90,000 BMW X6 M50i stolen after a night out. Hours earlier, he alleged that he had harassed 2 women, punched one, and fled in the SUV itself. Surveillance later showed him and others abandoning the BMW, returning in an Audi, and setting the SUV on fire with a flaming object.
Dummy, you got caught on video setting your own car on fire?
He was also filmed at a Wawa buying arson materials.
I mean, stupid is as stupid does.
Yeah, how do you go to Wawa and not grab a sub while you're there?
Yeah, the West Palm Beach man was charged with first-degree arson and grand theft.
Bruh.
There you go. Bruh. And that is our dum-dum of the day.